through a little bit. You know, TL was allowed to pick it, and you know, some players
they lost when that happened.
Well, yeah, they did. They
lost.
did, to be fair, yes. But, you know, TL, some of the players, you know, look at that team and say, okay, well, that's maybe a team that isn't going to flex it as much, so you can plan around that more easily. But definitely something you have to be worried about. The Urgot is a champion that can be flexed around quite a lot here. The new hover, I wonder if that's just kind of making fun of Svenskeren a little bit, because a lot of people were throwing some shade his way, rolling it down a little bit in their loss on the new.
Yeah, of course, Hansler and Svenskeren, former teammates on TSM. Now, if we're neither on that roster anymore, they look a little bit different. In the early lock-in for Draven, definitely had Draven banned against him. I think it was actually both games. Yeah, this is the first time he's been allowed to pick Draven in the entire 2019 season, and he locks it in when it's allowed. Lee Sin alongside that for contracts. This is already a spicy lineup.
Yeah, globally we have been seeing more and more Draven so far. Sneaky has played back-to-back Ezreal games. Not sure if he's going to want to go for that style of matchup. If you do want to just play to farm it out, to play safe, you couldn't go for something like that. But it can be pretty dangerous playing some of the more kind of short-range brawl-it-out style champions. So maybe simply the third straight Ezreal game here for Sneaky, and I think that's what we're getting.
Yeah, certainly a strong champion. We saw Sven pop off with it, so I think it's a good champion to have around, certainly a priority.
Everyone taking their turn, hovering new.
Why not? You know what? That's okay. You do what you want. I do find it interesting so far across 9.2. Lee Sin is the third most contested jungler behind Aatrox and Sejuani. Aatrox, of course, kind of ubiquitously powerful, receives a lot of bans, but Sejuani also a pretty common one. Either way, Lee Sin is going to be up here yet again, and it will be two early game aggressive fighter junglers here. With Camille facing off against the Lee Sin. Camille's stock lowered slightly somewhat, but still a champion that I think fits Svenskeren's playstyle. Yeah,
we're definitely expecting it to go jungle. I always do feel like I have to at least mention it could potentially be flexed to top lane, but very slim chance I would expect of that. The Urgot certainly, though, could go either way, mid or top. LeBlanc being blinded, we may simply see the Urgot go mid. I've seen a lot of players pretty comfortable into that matchup simply by rushing a cowl. Starting with a corrupting potion, you can be pretty tanky and at least kind of neutralize those sorts of lanes against the LeBlanc. But Rai is going to be taken away. We may see more bans targeted toward any potential mid lane counter picks against LeBlanc.
Right, and that seems to make a lot of sense right here. I do find it interesting on a sort of very numbers standpoint. Urgot's tankiness is actually skewed towards physical. He has a lot of armor for a champion, and so just tends to be good against AD compared to AP. Again, we'll see where that matchup ends up going. I agree that it could be fine in mid lane regardless. Thresh banned away as Cloud9, of course, also need a support pick, and Golden Guardians get first dibs.
And I think taking away an aggressive support that can really enable the Draven to really shine, I think makes a lot of sense. Plus Olay, when you do think about a lot of his best games, they are usually on those aggressive playmakers. When you think back to his Immortals days, where he was really looked at as this playmaking guy, lots of Thresh, lots of Morgana, finding the picks for his team, being that aggressive player.
Dorn banned out as well here, waiting to see what Cloud9's last ban will be. Will it be another aggressive support? Keep in mind Zazel is a big Alistar main, but Olay could easily take that away before he gets a chance at doing it. So would you go for a target ban like a Morgana instead, one of those Olay specials? Draven Morg can be good. No, Sion dropped off. They, of course, know that Golden Guardians needs a top laner, as Cloud9 can always put the Urgot there if they need to. So two potential top lane tanks, and the Ornn and Sion are off the table.
Definitely interesting to see the Sion banned away. I mean, if you are comfortable playing the Urgot top, Urgot is generally a strong matchup into the Sion, but Sion overall is just such a solid pick and does give them a really powerful front line, so perhaps they're just trying to eliminate any potential front line to make it easier to dive onto champions such as the Draven, such as the LeBlanc, remove a lot of their safety there, with that big front line that Sion would provide.
And we just get the second Victor game for Hanzo here picked up, of course. We mentioned that very early on. He's played a couple of mages, and while Golden Guardians banned the Rise themselves, he's back on the Victor here, and going to feel good. And I actually take the back that it was Licorice who had played the Victor. It was a Vladimir game out of Hanzo. But still, the third mage now for him, as we assume that's going top lane. I don't think Draven or LeBlanc going up there.
Yep, and Cloud9 now get their shot at counterpicking a solo lane, right? You put the Urgot in the matchup that you're most comfortable with, you counterpick the other lane.
Echo. Bring back the Echo into Victor. We saw it at Worlds. Didn't work.
It almost worked.
It almost worked. The matchup's better now.
Yeah.
Victor's gone nerfed a lot.
I'm also really interested to see if there's a chance of getting an AP Jarvan here. That is a champion that is kind of being hotly debated. Some players do feel like it is very powerful as far as an aggressive lane matchup, someone who can poke people out. If you want to play that Draven aggressively, dropping those flags for the poke, also giving the additional attack speed could be something that would work there, but obviously if you want to keep Draven safe, Tahm Kench certainly allows you to do that and can arguably kind of accomplish the same thing in different ways because you have this Tahm Kench behind you. You can then play much more forward. You can step up, be aggressively trading, knowing that the Tahm Kench can save you. And I think it also is a nice answer to something like the Zoe, where you can chomp someone up out of the CP bubble trouble and really keep them safe.
And the one concern I have here looking at the lineups is Cloud9 do have two heavy poke champions in the Zoe and the Ezreal, and Golden Guardians do not have hard engage outside of really tricky things like Tahm Kench finding a backline and Contracts getting some kind of a kick flash. So getting in on the poke team could be hard. I think it puts a lot of pressure on Froggen to somehow answer this with the distortion forward into QR. That could be difficult for Golden Guardians to play out the mid to late game, but we'll see what that looks like. C9 have that Urgot top side against Victor up there, and we have two aggressive early game junglers, and any game can snowball here in League of Legends.
It's definitely true, and one thing that Golden Guardians does have that I think is very powerful is their early game team fighting. I do think once you hit 6 on a lot of these characters, if Draven is winning lane as expected, you can play around Fog with champions like Lee Sin and the LeBlanc. While it's hard to engage if they have eyes on you, if they're trying to face check into a dragon pit or that sort of area, you can certainly win those fights, and you can certainly take picks around there. So we'll see if Golden Guardians is able to get that sort of early game advantage and snowball that into the neutral objectives. And I think this is a similar style of game plan as we saw Echo Fox attempt last time.
Well, this is going to be a fun one to watch for. And if I remember properly, I think Braum Shield will break spinning axes. I believe they don't bounce off because it kills projectiles. So there's a lot that I think Zeyzal can do here to really break things apart. It obviously drops the Draven ultimate. That won't do anything anymore. It'll stop a Victor E. You can prevent LeBlanc from bursting a backliner. Zeyzal can do a lot to prevent the aggressive plays out of Golden Guardians, but early mid-game team fights could be very important. We'll see what it looks like here. We are on to the Rift for game 2 of the day. Cloud9 1-1. They've only lost to Liquid. They look very sharp. Golden Guardians, a weak start to the season, but they could certainly do well here with a new lineup. We are on to the Rift.
Yeah, and you got to win against C9 here, and the team can certainly get reinvigorated from that. And if a team can beat C9, then maybe they're looking a lot better against 100 Thieves. So certainly a lot on the line for Golden Guardians, I feel like, in particular, but really both the squads.
Okay, we are onto this one. Let's see what comes through. Of course, Contracts now for several years in a row has been off Cloud9 facing against them. That was all of last year and didn't quite have the results he would have hoped, but once again against his old team.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, honestly, when he did depart from Cloud9. Such a promising young jungler, and a lot of people did think he had a bright future with Cloud9, but then moving over to Golden Guardians, Cloud9 obviously having had a lot of success with Svenskeren, and even last year throughout the summer split, a lot of success with Blabber. And some people are still wondering, will he start making it into rotation? Because while Svenskeren was certainly far superior, I think, in international play, Blabber did look very good during the regular season.
He did, absolutely. So something to watch for as well. And keep in mind, Golden Glue, I think, had also been quite good. And sitting on the bench, Niski starting plenty of games here as well. Of course, Niski's looked pretty good, don't get me wrong. It's not like C9 need to change this, but there's a very deep bench on that roster and something to watch for as time goes on. Better start, though, very likely here for C9, who went, I think, 1-4 or 1-5 at the very beginning of their season. Their summer split, poised to look 2-1 here. Either way, we will wait to see what happens as the red buffs are leashed and taken by both these junglers. And actually, it's like Haunter didn't leash at all. Contracts was soloing that. Haunter playing for some lane priority up here.
Yeah, so certainly Svenskeren is going to be a little bit faster to get out on the map with that leash, especially from Braum. Really is always such a nice leash with passive proc. The stun there is going to help you a lot. And it's red straight to topside scuttle here for Svenskeren. Going to be interested to see if he then tries to take that down to the bot side and try to do a double scuttle route, or if he just wants to secure himself one scuttle kind of on his strong side of the map with Licorice pushing.
Already nice stuff there for Licorice. Q and W looking pretty good here, and Haunter's down about half HP. Licorice has been really good. Statistically, Haunter's had slightly better laning stats, but some of that is champions played. Mages tend to farm well in the early game. Who would have thought?
Yeah, range champions in general often are going to have a pretty nice advantage, especially when you are playing a lot of these Klepto-style champions, as we've seen people playing in the early weeks against something like a Scion. You are expected to get a pressure advantage. You are expected to get a bit of a farm and gold lead.
So far, a pretty uneventful early game. We are tracking the jungle path slightly here as Contracts Lee Sin now takes down this bottom side. Looks like he actually left up part of the Krugs, by the way. Only took part of them, so we can get level 3 on this and be ready to go to fight for more of this jungle. And honestly, being able to split the Scuttles 1-to-1, but also basically poaching both Krug camps means this is actually a very nice jungle path for Contracts. Whether it's from research or just intuition, is going to actually deny a lot of the would-be gold for Svenskeren. This is a really good path for Contracts.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. I mean, this is the highest experience in gold camp that you can do, really. So, going to feel very good to take that away from his opponent. And we'll see if they actually decide to try to look for a dive. I think it would be
very hard.
Pretty tough to take down, Braum and the Ezreal. So, backing off for now.
Drops a Ghost Poro down there. That'll give him bonus stack damage for a long time. Knows that Svenskeren's fighting for this. Q's does not hit the champion. That could have been maybe the chance of the fight right there, because that was 200 damage right there if it lands. Zoe, of course, slinked down, but just the Trinket Ward and out goes Contracts, but certainly able to track Svenskeren, and he knows, okay, 6 camps, I know what 6 camps those were. And it's going to be more total allowed XP and gold to Contracts as he slowly goes through the rest of his jungle.
Yeah, and for Svenskeren, you're kind of left in this situation where it's very obvious what you're going to do now. There's no camps up on the map. They know that. They know now that you're going to be out there looking for a gank, looking for a vision. So the Golden Guardians lanes now have to play with some respect towards that. Knowing that there's no real other option, he's going to look for a gank.
Now, as he walks towards bot lane, he's going to go towards Krugs. He didn't know it was taken, and there's a Ghost Pour that's going to see him and be like, okay, we know Camilla's bot lane. She walked right by that. Hey, ping, ping, ping. You see all those red circles down there? They are well aware of what this Camille could do, which means Hunter can play safe. Big chunk in the mid lane. Froggen's passive is down.
Yeah, that was really nicely done there from Niski.
And they again ping it. They know right where Camille is. They have been tracking Svenskeren right now, so he will be playing back enough. They know Hanzo is safe up here, and trading blows back and forth. A very small lead to the victor.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, they do have a good idea of where the Camille could be. Will they anticipate that he's actually in to do some counter jungling of his own remains to be seen, as he is looking towards
they pinged him.
Romp and, yeah, pinging over where they think he's going to be. They're actually checking, so they know now he's there. Ole might be able to push him off this, but
yeah, he's higher level. Like, Ole could legit 1v1 Svenskeren right now. Now, Zazel's here. Let me
pull him out of the hook shot.
All right, but where's the team? He's got some damage. Suddenly, Braum. And Ole's going to have to be a bit respectful, but forces the flash of the Svenskeren. Definitely is coming across the wall. Will he flash for it? He is! E1 auto! Oh, it's first blood for Contract! Zazel has the blast cone, does get over the wall. Will there be more? It's a sleeping LeBlanc. Froggen can't get in, and Golden Guardians tracked Svenskeren for a minute and a half and found the first blood.
That was brilliant. Golden Guardians did such a good job of tracking Svenskeren. As I said, they would know what he had to do, and they did it so excellently. That level 3 Camille comes up, and Ole timed the Devour so incredibly well. You do not get that kill if the hook shot is not stopped there.
I just like that. Bing, bing. All right, Niski's fine. Gets over the wall. Gets rid of the things.
This is just so well timed. He actually waits for the hook shot, eats him out of it, stopping that hook shot, meaning Svenskeren really has no way to get out. So he drops the early flash, but definitely is on the roam. Flashes in, Contract flash, Q, bend the bullet, hits him around the Braum, and takes him down. And Zazel gonna go down as well. Had definitely actually used the blast cone himself to get in there. That might have been a second kill, but still, they're gonna be happy about how this went.
All right, good stuff here. Golden Guardians, 300 gold ahead. Feeling pretty good. Momentary top lane advantage, though, now to Licorice as he's pulled Spellbook over to Ignite. And starts roaming down towards the mid lane after pushing in, maybe putting a ward down, and it's going to look okay. Svenskeren now licking his wounds. Does still have more camps farmed, but you can see the XP difference quite large. It's 5-4, and the advantage of Contracts. He's feeling pretty good on this Lee Sin right now.
Yeah, sitting with that first blood is going to be pretty nice when he does go back to base and spend that up. Already has enough gold for a Caulfield, and would certainly love to get to that warrior very quickly. You know, quickly approaching level 6 here. When you do have that early CDR for your first ultimate, it's always going to feel super nice.
All right, so waiting for the next big plays here. 600 gold apart. No Dragon Rushes like we saw in the first game of the day, but a nice chunk right there. Niski hitting that one. Froggen did not respect that, did not hide behind his minions. Just clearing some minions out right here. Still farming pretty well. They're going to be about equal.
Yeah, every time we look towards mid lane, it feels like it's Niski winning the trades, but as you say, dead even in farm, so Froggen certainly playing the lane well. No real big advantage there on either side.
Now, things to watch for are this bottom lane, where it's a flashless Zazel, but also a flashless definitely an Ole. So you kind of expect to see Svenskeren come to gank there. Maybe at 6, you just press R and something's guaranteed to die. Probably the Tom Tench. We're going to watch for. Contracts, though, 1 to 6 in the jungle. 746, slightly faster than the 9.2 global pro average.
Looking up potentially towards Licorice as Haunter's in the area. He does have 6. We'll see if he wants to try to commit to this play. Remember, he hasn't bought yet, so not that much damage really here on the Lee Sin without having purchased any additional AD.
Yeah, he's got red smite and I think red buff, so some burns can matter, but yeah, the actual spell is revealed by a plant, puts down his Poro, and just out he goes. Svenskeren, now known to be in the left side jungle, but just clearing things away. 6 should be coming in soon. Maybe we will see that gank come through. Top lane so far feeling safe.
Yeah, the game very, very even. Not even the full first blood gold advantage, making that lead for Golden Guardians. It is very, very close, all things considered. Farm pretty much dead even in the mid lane, very even in the bot lane. A slight advantage here for Licorice, and he's going to go in.
Flashes for it, burns the ignite from Spellbook, Haunter to half HP. Here comes Svenskeren, and they have the kill. Fear Beyond Death locks in the first kill of the game for Cloud9.
Nicely done. The E flash there from Licorice, taking away that buffer time on the flip means Haunter could not react, and they're going to have the wave crashing here. This is even a dangerous turret to actually TP back to if they stayed around. They will back off because Svenskeren didn't even blow his ultimate there.
All right, that's going to be a couple of chunks down. The TP is burned, but Golden Guardian is going to commit down to this side of the map. They know Svenskeren is far. There should not be a way to lose this. Mountain Drake, though, doesn't mean much unless you're winning. Ooh, early on the smite, but doesn't lose it. They're going to pick this one up after all. It's still, of course, Cloud9 with the gold lead after that kill on the top side, though.
Yep, a good punch back, though, for Golden Guardians. Quickly moving over to that Dragon. You should have priority in that area with the Draven on the bot lane, knowing the jungler showed top side. So, Cloud9 are not going to stick around and try to get too greedy for the turret plates. That is something that is pretty debated, as far as what is the better play there. Do you try to stick around, get an additional turret plate or two? Do you prioritize getting a better base timing? And in this case, C9 certainly looking to just get a better base off.
Yeah, maybe so, and that's going to be the items staying up there. Licorice, of course, without TP, so it's going to be a long road back up top. As there's the 62 gold. Svenskeren still has the ultimate, and now level 7 has actually now crested contracts in XP briefly at the 10-minute mark. And we once again see this bot lane pushing in as Ole and Deftly feeling pretty good down here. I had high hopes for this lane. I really think Deftly is a great player. I think Ole got slightly undersold on Liquid. It's weird because he won the split, but he never quite compared the Doublelift as a player. I think he's still quite a talent, and I have high hopes for this duo lane, and so far, looking okay. Yeah,
and I mean, it's not just Liquid. He was at Worlds with Immortals the year before, and a lot of people had him ranked as the #1 and #2 support the year before on Immortals. So certainly, Ole has had a lot of success in his own right, but does seem to kind of get the short end of the stick as far as community criticism, and certainly some of that is deserved as he especially internationally did not really show up, and I think that's where a lot of the criticism did come from.
Sure, it's things we've seen kind of time and again for North American players where they will just look very good domestically and not quite convert when it comes to the bigger stages. Cloud9, I think the one team that bucked that trend, top 4 at Worlds last year, and Licorice was, I think, a huge part of that. And of course, back in the lineup looks really, really good. We've got 4 returning C9 Worlds players. Niski coming in, replacing Jensen. Jensen, of course, switching over to Liquid to be the new super team that would hope to replicate the C9 international success. Niski looking pretty far okay. And Golden Guardians now looking top side. Contracts and Svenskeren sitting in parallel brushes here as Haunter wants to walk forward, but there's no fight just yet.
Yeah, not just yet, and both top laners have their ultimate. Both junglers have their ultimate.
They're going to find that stun. Chaos Storm coming across, but he's locked in the hexagram. And will it be enough damage? No, they're going to knock down Svenskeren. The trade kill, they will just barely get down Haunter. It's a 1-for-1 as the top laner jungler both died, and out goes the flash. Contract stays alive.
Yeah, trade of flashes there. It is the 1-for-1, as you say, but I prioritize, C9. I think they got the better end of the deal here, as it's the top laner who gets the kill. Licorice takes the kill. He gets to stay around and soak that experience as well. And Haunter is left without a teleport, so thanks to that extra roam from Niski, really kind of making the difference there.
Yeah, absolutely good stuff right here. We watch that fight again.
And here it is one more time. C9 pull the trigger on the play a little bit faster. In goes Svenskeren. Nice E-flash straight onto Haunter, and the ultimate, I believe, was actually blocked. It looked like perhaps by Contracts, and they are able to actually get that kill over onto Haunter, and then Haunter does go down. Contracts can do nothing but just retreat. He wouldn't have been able to win the 1v1 regardless, but Niski showing up means he had no chance.
So flash for flash. Frog maybe getting a little bit done in the mid lane. Looking at the plates here, though, it is still quite healthy. Froggen, unlike the previous game we saw where Bjergsen punished a roam with 2 plates, still all 5 standing up in that mid lane. And They're falling in a minute 10 seconds. I do want to see Froggen get an auto attack in if he can.
Yeah.
And cash in for 160.
Yeah, Froggen did try to match the roam. He was just kind of delayed on it, and Licorice is just going in.
Yeah, got to dodge away the sun. Doesn't want to go for the rest of this fight right now. No ult on the Urgot, and maybe couldn't have tracked the Lee Sin either. But still good damage.
Good gravity field from Haunter, just placing that in between them. And then he would create enough distance to actually get away from that. But Licorice certainly out to a strong advantage. Already has the Black Cleaver as well as the Merc Treads complete, which means he should have full run of the lane. And we haven't really been seeing Victors be super effective in a lot of these games in the NALCS. A lot of people picking it, kind of for the lane push, for the lane domination, and it often has not really been panning out. So we'll see how effective Haunter is going to be able to be going forward in this lane. If he's going to elect to go for something such as an Iceborne, or if this is going to be a Lichbane and more of a heavy AP style build.
Yeah, wait to see what actually comes out to being. Looking at his ability order, it is 5 points Q and a 3 in E, right? He is trying to make sure he can survive the 1v1, so it is more self-sufficient in this.
Yeah, and that is something that I've talked with some pros about. The general thought process is
ooh, that's a good stopwatch. Now the re-engage kicking back Svenskeren. That means that Lulu, or the, yep, she's still alive, and now it's going to be the Fear Beyond Death. The Flash did not quite find the Fear. Licorice tried, but couldn't quite catch out Haunter. As she is going to live in that mid lane. Niski making it out.
That looked hilarious. Licorice just yanked him away and pulling him away from certain death there. Grabs the kill himself. 3-0 now. It was a nicely timed stopwatch there, certainly from Niski.
Broke even my brain. Couldn't think of the name Zoe anymore. And yeah, had to burn the kick onto Camille, and it was still not enough. And they got that kill regardless. So really good reflexes there. Niski stays alive.
Yep, and meanwhile on the bottom side, though, at least Golden Guardians is able to pressure. They have that bottom lane turret very, very low. Would love to grab that first turret for themselves, but Svenskeren grabbing the Rift Herald is going to make that much more difficult, as they will likely try to commit to beating them to the punch here.
Look at all this damage on the bottom side. This turret has been chunked down a fair bit, and definitely they still feel pretty good about getting some damage across.
And the question becomes, where does Svenskeren actually go to commit this Rift Herald? Because I do think they want to try to beat them to the punch. And top lane was the play I was expecting, but he's actually heading down to the bottom side. So they may try to make a TP play on the bottom side. You could look for a 3-4-man play down there, try to kill off the Draven as he extends to take down the turret, and then try to drop your Rift Herald for a counter.
That would be really nice. And of course, after 14 minutes, those turrets all have no resist, so that Herald charge does like a lot of damage. Almost one-shots the thing. A little bit of follow-up will kill it. We can see Licorice making good headway now top side. A lot of pressure's been spent. He's 3-0, 600 gold bounty onto him, and really holding Haunter down. And even one of the strongest points of Golden Guardians will be much less of a factor here. Is going Iceborne, right? Is going for the 1v1 build and not even winning that. So at what point does Victor actually do well in the mid-game? It's certainly not going to be yet.
Yeah, it is tough, and obviously jungle intervention was a thing there, but Licorice just naturally able to pick up the first turret on his own. Cloud9 is somewhat converging on that Infernal, but Golden Guardians, again, able to grab another dragon for themselves. So certainly, getting advantages where they can in this game, though C9 does feel like they are dictating the pace.
It's very interesting. It is kind of I agree it's being dictated by Cloud9, but it is also somewhat of a split map. I think C9's top side advantages are better, but Golden Guardians' bot side advantages have netted them 2 Drakes. They have a Mountain in case they need to rush that at some point. Baron spawns in 3.5 minutes. They've now got the Inferno, which is great, of course, so that's going to feel really good for many of these characters. The Victor and Ezreal, I think, especially, or Victor and LeBlanc especially, I should say. And we'll wait to see the next big play come through as 1,000 gold deficit, kind of buffered by the Inferno Drake, makes it a pretty close game.
Yeah, definitely the case. And Contracts is behind. They're roaming down Froggen as well. They're
nice
looking for
slow. Okay, that's going to be the shield coming up. Q's going to land. He shouldn't probably go for this play unless Froggen's coming around, and that won't be the case. So, no dive to be had. Zoe getting a bit of a lone time mid.
I will say that the C9 bot lane has also really managed their summoners very well. I think they've timed both the summoner spellbook TP as well as Sneaky's TPs very appropriately to try to delay Golden Guardians from really being able to knock down this turret for such a long time. And Sneaky's sitting on 2 items now with just the Stormrazor on Deathly. Deathly has not gotten a chance to have that base to spend all his gold, and it's giving C9 a lot of pressure elsewhere on the map because that bot lane has yet to collapse.
And here's the big chunk from Rift Herald, and that turret's done about 20% here. And a sleeping Lee Sin's got to be careful. Eyes are shut and can't quite get that kill as he jumps away to a ward, but still a big chunk in the mid turret. And C9 will be 2-0 in turret score here. 2,000 gold up.
Yeah, and Sneaky can even push in the bottom side, potentially get some damage down on that. They're going to get another charge in the mid lane, so Draven has to head mid lane to try to stop this turret from going down, while Sneaky is free pushing in the bottom side, and
the turret drops anyway. Svenskern almost wanted it in onto Froggen, can't quite find it here. Red buff going to be grabbed by Contracts, but here comes the rest of the team. Where's the way out?
Oh,
what a well-buffered E, the charge forward. He's going to stay safe, but safeguards back to Victor staying alive. Ezreal pushing the bottom lane. C9's not done taking the map over. 2 turrets the mid lane, top outer already taken, and now bot outer at half.
Yeah, and Hanser, I don't think he's going to want to TP down there. Sneaky not going to stay around regardless. Will just get another base off. So C9 holding on to their bottom lane turret. 3 turrets to 0 now for them. Have been playing the map very, very well. Licorice certainly had an incredibly strong point here also now. He is on 2 items with the Righteous Glory finish. His engage potential is certainly going up, and they're looking to set themselves up very, very well for this mid game.
This is looking really good. So to correct myself from Champion Select, you do not break the axe with the Braum Shield, but you still fully absorb the damage from the first shot, and considering Storm Razor is burst damage, it's pretty easy to actually break that down and survive this. But now Froggen, kind of a 1v2 down here if there's a gank to be had, but no. Doesn't play too far up. Svenskern cannot find his way in.
Has to be stated though, Froggen certainly looking pretty strong himself, has the Oblivion Orb, has the Ludens, and likely will have those Sork Boots pretty soon. So if he can get on to someone like Sneaky, yes, he is building some armor, but that is not going to protect him whatsoever from this LeBlanc. So Froggen will have opportunities to find picks there, and there is a tremendous amount of damage in general that can come out from Golden Guardians. If Contracts can find a pick, they certainly have the follow-up to burst someone down.
They really do. Scary team comps here. Hanser having to pay some respect, and a couple of wards might even track where Lee Sin could come. That means Cloud9 can feel pretty good about doing this. Licorice playing back with his control ward as well, and so far, no crazy aggression. 1,500 gold separates these squads, 25 seconds on Baron spawning. Still the Infernal and Mountain putting Golden Guardians ahead. Cloud spawning at 115. Waiting to see his Contracts does want to get to the bottom lane. Still dodging that ward, knows where the control ward would be, and he's in the fog. Now spotted, they know, and he's going to take down this ward and get rid of more vision from Licorice as the turret's going to fall.
Yeah, he just wants to defend Froggen so we can push in, take down that turret, get some of that gold off the map, and Golden Guardians still certainly very close in the gold game here. Cloud9 has kind of had the bit of the run of the map, though. Certainly has been pressuring, and they have a lot of vision up here on the top side. Looking like they're trying to set up, start farming both sides of the jungle, start looking to pressure this top tier 2, and use that to create a zone of control around the Baron. And you can see, Dravenholt was actually thrown to Baron to check that. They were nervous about a potential rush.
Yep, he's going to come back and reveal once again, but the Baron not yet being taken. It's just simply Cloud9 controlling this part of the jungle and wrenching this away from Golden Guardians. Ward's going to drop down, getting rid of all the vision, and that is a scary minimap to look at.
Yeah.
Golden Guardians have no idea what they can check for, what they can try to do. Froggen, ooh, that could have been scary if it was someone else there going for that play. Contract's going to be sleeping, he's drowsy, and getting picked up by Ole, staying alive.
Will stay alive. Worth noting, the Sterix has come through for Svenskeren, so he is on another very strong 2-item power spike. So many people have been going this style of build. With Tiamat's gold increase a couple patches ago, a lot of people started moving away from Tiamat on Camille, rushing the Warrior, picking up a Sterix for a really kind of cost-effective, powerful 2 items. And it's very, very effective as a result. It gives you quite a bit of durability in these team fights here too.
And now Cloud9 pulls the trigger while Niski and Zeyzal are zoning them out. Froggen is waiting in the wings. He knows maybe that something is up, but look at the rest of Golden Guardians. They are not playing for much of this at all, and it's
Froggen
losing health and losing health. Ole gets a ward down, but there's no one nearby. Lee Sin is spotted in the mid lane. There's still no vision. Zeyzal walks over Froggen. Can he somehow make a blind miracle steal? He's not going to make it happen. Double smite comes through. Cloud9 picks up the Baron uncontested.
Yeah, doing that so well.
Contract is going to get solo killed as well.
Niski adding insult to injury, knocks down Contracts, and Froggen barely missing Sneaky on that recall. C9 just dominated the vision game there on the top side. Golden Guardians never really made the concerted effort to walk in as a team and try to reestablish some of that vision. So they simply kept Zeyzal and Niski poking and prodding around the mid lane, never really allowing Golden Guardians to get back in there. And this was just so well done. The double smite to secure that, and then look over the wall. The engage range here from Niski, so far away, taking out Contracts.
And that's looking very good. Cloud9 up sizably here, 2,000 gold. They've got the Baron buff on as well, and they're going to keep pushing around. Licorice being used in the side lane. He's the split push that they're using here. Does have the TP available. Only member other than Sneaky on the team that has the Summoner. Knocks down the outer turret. 4-1 in this score. Baron still on for a solid 2.5 minutes. They've got a Drowsy, but no follow-up just yet. Big play for Froggen. He's gonna solo kill Sneaky. That was absolutely huge. Knockout's gonna find him even over the wall. Will there be the trade? He's targeted, but they're not quite finding that just yet. Yeah, it's the clone with stuff on, so.
Yeah, that was actually really good movement from Froggen. Pretty tricky with that clone, juking with the clone and just walking straight away with his actual character.
Yeah.
So really big play there from Froggen, delaying the Baron buff, allowing them to stay in this game. You really had to think they needed to keep their turrets safe. You don't want to just bleed out too much gold off the back of that really nice Baron rush from C9.
Well, they're going to get at least some other objectives, even with their bot laner missing. A Sneaky respawns now, and maybe wants Magic Resist in that build somewhere, and gonna have to find a place to put it in. We see Banshee's Veil somewhat from champions like Kai'Sa, and certainly Ezreal scales off AP as well. Might want that somewhere in the build.
Yeah.
Ooh, not quite that one. The Drowsy's not going to be able to get the kill. And again, grabbed by Ole, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, but this is such a nice position here from C9. Having Niski and Zeyzal and Svenskeren threatening over on the side. Look at the 3 pink wards that they have in this side of the jungle, concretely controlling the vision around this area and making it so scary for Golden Guardians to ever step up to try to defend the turret. Because if you walk all the way up to try to hit those range creeps, you don't even know if the flank is coming behind you at that same time. So C9 utilizing that vision again to push in here.
Hanser flashless at half HP, almost tagged by Ezra, but the dive forward, they've got the damage. Other kill picked up now for C9. The fight continues as Svenskeren pushed back, pushed out half HP. Definitely still untouched on the back line, but just simply not finding anyone to actually hit right now as the inhibitor turret in the mid lane falls down. 4,000 gold puts C9 ahead. They're fighting for the inhibit itself, and would you even fight this 3v5 as Guardians wait for contracts to come back in? Froggen looks at the play, blocked off though. Zeyzal stops the Q, inhibitor falls, and C9 can walk away cleanly.
Yeah, Cloud9 really is just showing off how impressive their vision game is, how big of a difference it is between these two teams in that regard. I think just dominating the vision game, and that is really what got them the Baron. That is what is getting them all this zoning and threat from the Zoe and the Ezreal as well. They are not having to poke from an area where Golden Guardians can watch the Zoe. Niski is always coming out of fog, always coming out of these dark areas, and it makes it so tough for the Golden Guardians to actually navigate these fights correctly.
It seems like C9 have themselves a style. This is now twice in 3 games they're playing this Zoe, Ezreal, heavy vision control, play for poke, and just rest the jungle away and say, okay, a Baron sneak is all we need, and they get a lot out of that buff.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting on 9 pink wards. They're clearly not going to be slowing down in this regard. You know, you look over at the other side, there's 4 sitting in the inventory of Golden Guardians. You know, Froggen is still sitting on a Dark Seal and an Amp Tome, no pink wards in his inventory. So Cloud9 is making a very concerted effort to always have pink wards on their person, and that is a big reason that they are dominating the vision game.
Well, we'll see if GGS can find their way back into this one, but so far it's been downhill. Maybe a 0-3 start for the 10th place team from last split. Froggen looking for the play, finds the root. Zeyzal wants to flash out, Sneaky in the front line, looking for someone to hit, finds Connex for a Mystic Shot. Bit of damage there, and now here comes Svenskeren, sweeps the back line, goes way far into the back, but definitely pops the stopwatch. They gotta be careful. Contract is down, but watch out for Svenskeren. Tagged up, slow, but not dead. Now Hanser has to keep running and doesn't get the blast code here, so Licorice is on the chase on this side. Meanwhile, it's not gonna be easy now for Tom Kenches. It is gonna be a trade kill, though. Hanser finding himself the 1v1. That's something picked up as the LeBlanc came down as well. Froggen making that one come through, but it's still C9 only losing 1 and picking up 2 kills for themselves.
Yeah, Froggen trying to make some plays here to keep Golden Guardians in this. Niski is hunting him. I don't think he saw him. I don't think he actually would have seen him over the wall there. Doesn't yet have the vision. Yeah, he's just guessing where he is. We'll see if he actually guesses right, but no. Looks like they're just heading back up towards the top side, so C9 cannot finish it out just yet, but picking up even more gold. 7 turrets now, 2-2. But certainly have been doing very well in that regard, but Froggen showing off the power still that he has. He has the Morellos, he has the Stork Boots as well as the Luden, so definitely has the potential to burst someone down, and here it is, Sneaky jumping in aggressively, trying to get that poke down. You can see the Ezreal ult when it goes through the team, how much damage that is getting down. Svenskeren diving in, Licorice into the back line, and the whole team really just piling in to shove Golden Guardians back. And Niski, that was a really good stopwatch that did at least keep Ole alive for a bit, and he's barely able to get taken down, but then Froggen on the side does trade 1 kill back.
And that was nice, just coming over the wall and spotted him. And That was well done. So a single kill coming through. Froggen having a decent game. 2 of the 4 kills belong to him, and he's 0 deaths, but sadly it's just not enough coming through right now. Froggen on the way out. Oh, what a bubble. He's sleeping, and he does not have a way to exit this one. Certainly not. They're going to wait it out, and Sneaky grabs the kill here, his first of the game.
And Golden Guardian's strongest member is now down with Baron there, and they have a sleep onto Contracts. They're chasing.
Well, they have the play. No ult for Svenskeren. No slow just yet. Now finally with the sweep. A kickback that brings him to safety. Now Zeyzal gonna find that Q. The ult there. A stopwatch is not gonna buy more than 2 seconds. He's certainly gonna die. And 2 picked up in a row now. Cloud9, 9-4 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Haunter, they're trying to go for some guerrilla tactics here. Pushing it down mid lane, trying to trade back a turret. But he's gotta run as well.
He's trying to get out for this one, throws the E, gets back, buys some time with the minions as well, but it's back to Baron here, Cloud9. Not long after it, Respawn are hitting this thing again.
Yeah, they have 3 members hitting this. They have 2 members zoning. This is the same setup that they had previously, and Niski is actually looking for kills in the 2v3.
Well, they're going to try for this one, but at least they're buying time. They know that there's no one to steal this one away, so it will be picked up cleanly yet again. The single spike for Svenskeren grabs it, and this gold lead is almost insurmountable.
Yeah, and with the mid lane inhibitor already down, Baron buff picked up, they certainly can look to expand that even further. I think making some really intelligent build choices here too. I like the fact that with Cloud9 snowballing, Sneaky did not pit stop for another tier. He just goes straight into the Gunblade there for the most immediate power. And I actually would not be surprised if this Lost Chapter completed into something like Illudence. I have seen that build a little bit more rarely, just for immediate power instead of waiting for the scaling.
See what comes through now. Liquor's going to be rooted in place. They have the burst damage to kill him off. Svenskeren's around, but such a tanky Urgot. He's got Stone Plate. That health bar is far too big. And GGS cannot 3v1 or even 4v1 the top laner. But Niski, not going to find the double just yet, but now over the wall, Froggen once again wants to be the carry. Gets half HP down. Svenskeren's going to burn Flash, actually. We're out some of that one. Haunter's TP is stopped because the top lane's being pushed in.
Sleep.
This is pretty big. Over the wall he goes, but they're going to find the stun. They're going to find the burst, and they get the kill yet again on the Froggen. The top of the hip dying as well. The Guardian Angel will be lost.
Yeah, Cloud9 may just be able to end this. These guys just have to keep them busy. Sneaky and Zeyzal are looking to end the game.
Olay finds some safety. The stun's going to be pretty nice. Definitely still trying to run. They should get the one. Now a 2v2 in the top side of the map. They're going to knock down another inhibitor, but look back towards these turrets. Zeyzal and Sneaky versus Haunter plus Contracts. Half HP on this turret. They're getting these chunks down. The minions doing a lot of the heavy lifting. They will knock the inhibitor down. That's going to be dedicated here for Sneaky. And now watch out for Contracts. For the rest of the team coming by as well. They're only a screen away. C9's reinforcements coming up. It's 2 versus the world. And they've got to somehow defend against double Baron buffed waves coming across the bottom turret. Taking fire. Haunter cannot seem to clear this one away. C9 likely to make it the road they expected at the start of the season. A 2-1 beginning for the C9 spring split. Niski's in, the Zoe's 5-0-6. And as Golden Guardians respawn, one member is going to try to defend, but it won't be enough. The Nexus falls and Cloud9 wins.
Very impressive start to the weekend here for Cloud9. A masterclass in vision control from the C9 squad. Never really looking threatened in this one. Really strong play around the map. They played to their strong side of the map. Sneaky and Zeyzal played well in a losing matchup, never really allowing Golden Guardians to snowball on that side of the map, never giving up that turret. And this was just a really intelligent, well thought through game plan from Cloud9.
Yeah.
And they executed on it almost perfectly.
Yeah, looking really, really good is Cloud9. Sneaky looking solid on the Ezreal. Niski is, I think, having a very good season so far. It's the big new pickup here for C9, and he looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, 5-0-6 for Niski here on the Zoe, 4-0-4 for Licorice. The solo laner's getting a lot of work done. Niski was always able to find poke out of vision, and the team set him up so incredibly well for that with all the investment into the pink wards, all the investment into the vision control every time they were sieging, every time they were looking for a pick. And Niski made good on that, really was able to get a tremendous amount done and utilizing the Sleepy Bubble through the terrain so well.
Well, they beat 100 Thieves, they beat Golden Guardians. Tomorrow they have Counter Logic Gaming, who have not looked good so far in the LCS. So C9 seem likely to have a 3-1 exit to the week, which is pretty solid. It's the opposite of what it was last split. They seem to have found a formula that works. Coming off a very strong performance at Worlds, they still look good. C9, definitely a team to watch. Now, later on, we will hear from Licorice and Svenskeren about that victory, but until they get set up, we've got some replays to show. We've got some things to talk about overall about that game because C9 were controlled the whole way through. Some bot lane priority for Golden Guardians, but never scary.
Yeah, it never really amounted to more than a little bit of lane pressure, and the Ezreal with TP, Braum spellbooking TP as well. They rotated their base timings very, very well. They gave up the minimum, and yes, the turret almost went down on the bot side, but it certainly was not nearly enough to match what Cloud9 felt like they were getting elsewhere.
Yeah, and it was just top lane kill after top lane kill after top lane kill. Haunter never got online on the Victor. That's what camping can do for you. Those ganks never did come through bot side. And we saw them try a couple of times. Once in a while, we saw Froggen come down the tri-brush, Contracts down there as well, but there was never the dive that never became a kill. I don't think we ever saw an actual kill come through from the Draven down there. Never got to cash in despite some decent farm. And yeah, a 7,000 damage game is not really what you want down there.
Yeah, definitely not what you're looking for. You're hoping to get the lane advantage and then be able to snowball that, look for neutral objectives. They did get a couple of the dragons for themselves. I think they had some good responses to what Cloud9 was doing. Cloud9 would go topside. Contracts would take the dragon, make the intelligent response, but it never really amounted in more than perhaps what they got from the initial play. And despite the fact that Froggen had a couple of nice picks for himself, it just didn't feel like it ever really came together. And I think that is something that we've been seeing as a bit of a pattern from the Golden Guardians team.
Yeah.
There are some good individual plays, but it's never really enough. And this is how far away Contracts is from the Zoe. You can see the range of threat that Niski has on this pick. As Contracts is like a mile away,
right?
Niski says, no, you're still too close to me. Hits him with the Sleepy Bubble Trouble, goes in, finishes off the kill, and that meant there was no threat for them on the Baron.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's really cool about people who are good at Zoe is they understand where to stand and be like, yeah, I'm going to be across this wall. I see you wave clearing. There's none of your minions are in the way to block this, so I can shoot this from Fog of War. Got the pick. Certainly some things that helped a lot. They had a lot of jungle control, and they got those 2 Barons. Now we're going to send it over to Avali for that interview.
Thanks, Freak. I am here with Cloud9's Licorice and Svenskeren. Guys, congratulations on the win, starting week 2 off right. Now, coming into the split, everyone saw you guys as one of the strongest teams. But Licorice, what do you think of the team strength yourself?
I think that it's just taking us a bit to learn to play together as a team again. But I think that once we figure that out, we'll be like top 2 for sure.
What do you think's what's there to figure out for you guys right now?
I mean, whenever you have a new player, it's just they have a different playstyle that they learned on an old team. Like Niski learned a different playstyle on Splice, so now we're just trying to teach him like the Cloud9 style. And as soon as we like work out the kinks with that, we should be really good. And
Svenskeren, you have the jungle mid synergy, and there's with Niski coming in as a new player, is there a new dynamic that you have to get adjusted to?
Yeah, I mean, definitely me and Niski have a different dynamic than me and Jensen had, whereas I think Niski is a lot better at adapting to what the team needs, whereas he is pretty good at listening to what's going on the map, and he's able to like move from his lane a lot more. So I think he's just pretty good at like watching the map and knowing where to be on the map.
And is that affecting the way that you play at all?
It makes my job a lot easier when he's always able to move and help me and stuff. So I think we have a pretty good dynamic in just fighting to the death together.
And Licorice, today in beating Golden Guardians, you also took down Haunter, who was usually known as the best homegrown NA top talent. But I mean, you took him down today, and you have been taking down top laner after top laner across the scene.
Pure 1v1, by the way.
Pure 1v1.
Yeah.
He's not even the picture. Svenskeren, he doesn't help at all. But at what point are you comfortable with saying that I'm #1 and I'm the best here?
I mean, I think I am, like, right now. I wouldn't say that I'm, like, by far the greatest. Like, I think that if you look at a player like Chovy in the LCK, like, he is just smashing everybody. And I don't think I'm, like, that at that level, but I'm pretty comfortable saying I'm the best top laner right now.
Yeah, when are you going to pick up that 100 KDA? But Svenskeren, what's it been like playing with Licorice of such a top talent?
Yeah, I think Licorice is great. I mean, I think, yeah, Eric is just always very consistent on stage, whereas in practice, he's quite different. So he tests his limit a lot in practice, and it might be a little tilting to play with, but on stage, he's always super solid.
So we've spoken about how Niski has affected the in-game team dynamic, but what about behind the scenes, out of game, during scrims, or even just around the house? How is he affecting the team and the atmosphere?
I mean, Niski's just a really friendly guy, and he's like a bit trolly too, which is like a good fit for the Cloud9 atmosphere where we're just like a bit less serious than like most other teams, I think. But so far he's just been a great fit, like personality wise.
Yeah, I just agree. He's very friendly outside of the game, and in game he's very kind of calm. So it's a super good fit.
All right. And so, again, coming into the split, you guys and Team Liquid were the strongest teams and these teams to beat. But unfortunately, in week 1, you dropped the game against them and you don't take them on until week 7. So until then, are there any other teams that you see as formidable opponents until you face them again?
I think for me, it's just like the big one is just TSM. It's always just TSM is just like the team to beat because they just have like such a history. And then I know like Dennis here probably really wants to beat TSM as well. So for me, TSM.
Yeah, obviously TSM is looking pretty good now. I think Clutch is also looking pretty good. I think the top side, Lyra and Huni, is pretty strong. So like they're always going to be pretty hard to beat.
Well, guys, thank you so much for the interview and congratulations again. And for everyone else, stick around because up next, we're going to see Bang and Doublelift finally clash.